What is up, everyone? Sambunani. You are tuning into the Nothing Real podcast, and I'm your host, Shuri Lattimore. Let's get it. If it's your first time tuning in, this is just an open-minded podcast. We just vibe, and I go by Just Vibe Re as well on all platforms. And I hope that you can tune into today and get some mindful information. So let's get it. So today, what I want to discuss is that the American dream is not in America. You probably heard this before, you probably haven't. Let me say it again. The American dream is not in America, especially for Black Americans. I want to highlight that, what I just said. I believe, mind you, I said I believe that the American dream is in Afrika. It's on the continent of Afrika. I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. That's where I believe the dream is. So let me fast forward you to this present moment. So I went to, actually not fast forward, but backtrack. I went to South Africa for 3 months in 2024. I'm 23 years old. I went by myself, solo female traveler, first time leaving America. And let me say this, it was an experience. Please tap into the other podcast episodes if you want more details about that full experience. Because this one, I really want to dive in deep into what I said with the American dream. But something I mainly realized, what was a culture shock to me personally, because I didn't know. When I traveled to South Africa, I've seen all of this land. I would travel, I would see all this land, all of these wine farms, these big houses, this. And I would ask the locals, who owns this? Who owns this? You feel me? And they would be like, it's normally a white American or just a white individual. And please don't come on this podcast with that negativity. Don't make this seem like I'm putting this as like a race thing. I'm just saying shit how I see it, how it is, period. Like I said, I would see all these things and it would be big mansions, all this land. One time I got called to go on a wine tour for free. I got the offer to go there for free. And that was amazing. That was a blessing. And, I asked every single wine farm I've been, I said, who owns this? It will be the same answer, same answers. A thought that came across my mind was, what if Black Americans was able to buy land in Afrika? What if they was able to buy land in Afrika? But they don't. I feel like we don't think that big, sadly, in America. Or we might think like it, but we don't take action on it. But it came across my mind. I'm like, okay, all of these people, they're going over there and they're buying land. The cheapest cost of land. If you just want a small plot, nothing crazy, nothing big. Just $1,000 USD. Excuse me. That will be 18K South Africa rand. And that's just for South Africa. I'm speaking on terms too. Say you got 10K US dollars. That is 184K South African rand. That can get you a lot. And I'm just speaking on one person. Imagine if it was like 5 people with 10K each. Obviously, that's 50K. That's 920,000 South African rand. That can go so far. And the point where I'm getting at is that if Black Americans was to wake up and truly look back at the the continent in Africa and come together with the Africans and the Black Americans and come together and build a community, I feel like things would work towards change. You know, like some people that makes me like, oh no way, I can't see Black Americans in Africa survive this, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, this is an open-minded podcast. Open your damn mind. Imagine if there was Black Americans that bought land in Africa. They bought land in Africa, and it's a community. And then they build a community with Africans, and they provide. We build these farms, our own farms. We build our own wine farms. We build our own. We grow our own fruits, our own vegetables. You know, we build a community of houses and stuff like that. We build that because our currency, we could take advantage in a good way. Because a lot of people, they take advantage in a negative way. They go to other countries with their higher currency and they step on locals' toes. I've seen it for myself. There will be a big ass mansion with all this land, and right across the street, their window view is what is it called? It's called it's something shedding. It's like it was like these rough houses. It's for some reason it's not popping in my mind right now. But it's like these rough houses that's not even a house. And then on top of that, it'll be like homeless people sleeping outside and all that. But hopefully that word pops in my mind. Hopefully it pops up in my mind later. It's gonna be bugging me this whole time now. But it's kind of like it don't look livable. Let me say that. It don't look livable at all. That's gonna bug me that I don't know the word, and normally I do. But shit happens. But more of the point is, like, how can you have a big mansion, and your view is homeless people house that looks like that you can just blow it and it'll fall apart. Seriously, no joke. How can what? It just don't click right with me. It don't sit right with me. So I'm just like, what if like we was able to build a community, bring a group of Americans with our currency, buy land and build and help each other and provide and learn about our ancestry, learn about the rich of Africa cultures and the whole reason why these people is going over to Africa to buy all this stuff because they know Africa is literally, first of all, the biggest continent in the world. I don't care what the map says. I believe the map was manipulated, and that's what we had to learn. I believe that. If you don't, that's okay. But I believe that Africa, first of all, like I said, the biggest. It has the most abundant resources. It goes from medicine to gold to silver to copper. Like, it's all in Africa. It's all in Africa. I've been to a village as well. So I was in Cape Town 2 months, a village 1 month. And one time I forgot which one was the mountain, but we went all the way to the top. And on the top, they had raw, pure incense. And then there was like other medicines as well too, where like they would just grab it on top of the mountain, bring it home, and care for it for their family. I'm like, what? Free medicine? Oh, just growing on top of a mountain? But you know who knows that? The white people. You know who knows that? The white people. They would go over there and they would take advantage of that. They would build their own communities. They will build their own communities because they know Africa has the richest of the richest. Cape Town just got labeled in the magazine as the #1 best city to live in the whole wide world, 2025. But you know what? The locals don't get to experience that feeling. Only the tourists. They plan on building a 6-story hotel in Bokop. I'll probably be saying it wrong, but I know how to spell it. It's Bokop. Kaap. If I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. But they plan on building a 6-story hotel. I was living in the Gardens for 1 month, and I was living in Sea Point for 1 month. I've seen the total difference. I've seen it from my own eyes when I was there. So in Gardens, to get my clothes washed, I will walk all the way. It'll be like a 13-minute walk all the way to Boat Cop. Like I said, if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. I will walk all the way there. It was like a 13-minute walk, and I'll get my clothes washed there. All you will see is like, I've seen a lot of homeless people. I actually seen someone get robbed and beat up right in front of my eyes. But, I'm a solo traveler. I just had to keep walking, sadly. You know what I'm saying? It was a neighborhood that need help, in my opinion. It was a neighborhood that don't need a 6-story hotel. They have this tourist section in that neighborhood, and it's like these colorful houses. Normally when you say the neighborhood, like everybody know it for the colorful houses. But it's way more than the damn colorful houses that they have down there in Bocop. Like, and so they're trying to tear down these local neighborhoods to build pointless shit. But if the tourists and the foreigners don't speak up, the locals will never be able to experience why Cape Town is the best city to live in. Yeah, bro? They will never be able to experience that. Simply because tourists and foreigners, they will take advantage. Don't get me twisted. Nothing is wrong with, doing tourist activities. But there's a point where it's like, okay, it's enough. It's enough. Nothing's wrong with tourist activities. I did some tourist activities. I know everybody want to get lit, everybody want to have fun. But have you ever thought about the locals? Because if this was your country, if this was your home, and people come and they tear down your neighborhood that you grew in just to build a 6-story hotel for tourist attractions, how would you feel? When you literally walking down the street and you seeing people in tents that's literally blowing away. What? I remember people would tell me, like, I would ask about it and the people were like, oh, just ignore them. Just ignore them. What? Every time when I brought my clothes to get it washed, the clothes that I didn't want, I gave it away. I bought local food. Like, people, they will go out the country, right? Yay, cool. But, like, don't take advantage of locals. Don't do that. I would see people, they would go to Bali, Thailand, and they will buy big land, and they will build a mansion, and then their view, I remember this is actually, I've seen it on YouTube. It was a person, I'm not calling out the name, that they built a mansion in Bali on a rice field, and their view was the workers who's working in the rice field. Don't that give slave master type vibes? And it was also Black American. It's just like, okay, cool. Like, yes, you moved out of America. You bought land. You built a mansion. But what the hell are you doing for the locals? What are you doing for the locals? Are you just there to flex? Are you just there to flex your US dollars? This is coming from an American speaking, Abel. What are you doing? Because it don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me at all. And it boils my skin. And I understand not everybody can save the world. I can't save the whole world. But you can damn sure buy a local a meal. You can damn sure afford a whole family to actually buy a meal for it. As an American, you can feed the whole family. With our US dollars, it's pretty cheap. You would not break the bank. I promise you would not break the bank at all. And it's just like, think about it. Like I said, it is getting to that time where Americans, especially, like I said, Black Americans, need to start thinking about leaving America. And I'm not talking about long term. I'm talking about like start planning now. Like the latest 2026, 2027, the latest. You seen that I dragged out that 7. That's the latest I'm giving you. Because right now, for real, wake up. We always daydream and talk about, oh, like one day I want a community with the farm and the land and this. Okay, when we gonna do it? How can we start making steps towards it? How can we come together and do this thing? We can truly come together with the Africans in Africa with our US dollars. Instead of taking advantage of these digital nomad visas and using it just to shit on locals, use it to help. Use it to help. That's what I'm trying to get out of this. Use your higher currency to help. It will make a huge difference. Excuse me. It will make a huge difference. Excuse me. I'll keep like burping. I'll keep burping, y'all. But you get what I'm saying. It's just like, it's so sad, and we have a big opportunity to make a change together. Imagine if we built schools, yo, if we did this. Oh, it can go a long way. Rent costs in Cape Town, an average is like, I would say $600 USD. I even seen some that goes for $400, $500. In rands, $500 is 9K South African rand. Bruh, rent in America is around, it's 2K and up. 2K and up. That's 36K South African rand. That's a lot of money in South Africa. So just think about it. Like I said, think about, a lot of people, they always talking about like, oh, Thailand, Bali, Philippines, Vietnam. Like, it just, I don't know. It makes me question, like, why don't Black Americans want to travel to Africa? It's so popular nowadays for Black Americans to travel to Bali and Thailand, even to move there. And cool, applause to those people. But it do come across my mind. I'm like, why don't they want to move to Africa? Why? Why they don't even want to travel to Africa? That's why I made sure my first visit outside of America was Africa. Why not? If that's where we originated from, then Black Americans, don't you think it just clicks to go visit there? That's what my white Americans do. White Americans, they first trip in the summer is Europe. They be like, girls trip. Let me stop. Y'all go get. They'll go to Europe all together and travel there. I'm like, I always think like, why don't Black Americans do that with Africa? Why do they be so quick to go to Thailand? Why do they be so quick to go to this place? And I've seen this one message. Someone was just like, oh, it's because everybody there, they're so friendly and they mind their business. Who said Africa's not like that? Who said Africa don't mind their business? Who said Africa's not friendly? Yeah, every country got its flaws. Every continent got its flaws. But like, I don't know. It just makes me question sometimes. I'm like, why do people want to learn their roots? It don't make sense. And I believe that there's people out there that think like me and that could see a change and build a community. And I believe it's possible. But for right now, I got to take care of me. I've got to make sure I'm good. Eventually I want to move out of America, and I'm interested in South Africa specifically, but it's got to be changed. And like I said, don't go somewhere and take advantage and shit on locals. The most bare minimum thing you could do, like I said, is buy a family a meal. You can afford it. For real. You can afford it, and that's less, way. That's like less than $40, honestly, to feed a whole family. Like, so, and I'm talking about in USD. So it's just like I said, think about it. The American dream, it's not in America. And it's not because the orange head's in the office, even before he got in office. It was never the dream. America was never the dream. Get it through your head. It was never the dream. And so that's something you need to sit with. And I'm going to leave you with that to think about and really, really think about your life. And first thing first, get that damn passport. If you don't have one already, get the damn passport for the whole family. Make sure everybody got a passport. Look towards citizenships in other countries. I know Ghana is offering citizenships to Black Americans just for being a Black American. You can get a free citizenship in Ghana. I'm already looking towards that just to have that citizenship under my belt. Yes, it is possible to have multiple citizenships in different countries. Look towards that because how shit is looking, it is only going to get worse. I wish I could say better, but it's only going to get worse in America. It is. Wake the fuck up. And like I said, it's not because the orange head's in the office. It's been shit. It's just going to get even more shit. He was basically the cherry on the top. You know. And so, like I said, look towards it. Do your own research. Hey, I'm just a 20-year-old from America, living in America, talking about moving to Africa. And I will make it happen. Yeah, well, and so I appreciate y'all tuning into this podcast. Not the real podcast. Like I said, my name is Cherie Lattimore, aka Just Vibe on all platforms. And I hope that you enjoyed this podcast show, and I hope that it was able to open your mind to bigger perspectives and bigger things in reality, and knowing that your only option is not just America and there's other options way out here in this whole big entire world. But I believe Africa is the place where we can succeed and have the true abundance together, and not just Americans but the African locals as well. Yeah, and so I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, Shalagashe and Sizabwe Sabunani, and alright. Hey.